Hello, loves. Hello, hello. Hills here from the Blue Flame and the beautiful Yosemite Valley. How are we all feeling in this truly avalanche of light, this torrent of energy that has been moving through? Just yesterday, Neptune shifted retrograde in Aries. Today, the 6th of July, we find the sun coming into its closest conjunction with the stellar dimension of Sirius, which leads us into that beautiful 7-7 portal energy, followed immediately by Uranus for the first time since, I believe, the World War II Prohibition era here in the US, entering Gemini. So we also have a Capricorn full moon happening on the 10th. And we're going to talk today about this current that we're navigating right now and a bit about this Capricorn full moon that's coming in on the 10th, just following which on the 13th, Saturn will also turn retrograde. So let's start this by taking a couple of deep breaths together, because this energy has been electric, right? We've got this beautiful scenery behind me. The sun in its conjunction with Sirius is behind me. So I'm going to invite you to just simply come into your body, to notice your breath, to breathe a couple of times nice and deeply and really feel that air coming into your body all the way through your heart and down through your diaphragm and into your belly and then back up again. We currently have Venus in Gemini. Venus is doing this kind of allurement, this magnetism dance, saying, hey, Uranus, hey, awakener, why don't you come on in? The water, the air is fine. Let us awaken to new ways of communicating. And as this is all happening, over in Leo, Mercury is turning and turning and turning. And now we have Mercury during the full moon at 13 degrees of Leo. Fiery communication, bold-hearted, strong, enthroned communication, right? Enthroned communication. So let's play with that, stating our beliefs, stating our truth with purpose from a heart-centered place, expressing ourselves within and without from a heart-centered space, right? Now, Mercury, while it is playing in Leo, is making a grand trine. We have Inanna, the asteroid named for that expression of the divine feminine, exactly conjunct Shiva, the divine masculine, at 15 degrees of Sagittarius, which means also, yes, directly on top of the great attractor. Can we feel how Venus luring, magnetizing, enticing Uranus into Gemini, and Mercury over in Leo, bold expressions coming into more heart-filled expression, is working with this energy of this expression of the divine feminine, Inanna, and the divine masculine from the Hindu tradition, that who holds Shakti, who is so enamored by the dance of Shakti that holds all of her in its loving gaze and says, wow, with the great attractor pulling away anything that is impeding, the capacity for the masculine and the feminine to dance in the way that they do. And now I'm not talking about the matriarchy and the patriarchy, though I am also talking about the matriarchy and the patriarchy, but I am talking about those aspects of our being that resonate more to the feminine creative nature, and those aspects of our being that resonate more to that foundational masculine nature. And then also in beautiful Mercurian trickster fashion, can we find those places where the feminine is in our masculine and the masculine is in our feminine, where our masculine creates and our feminine holds the space? We can feel that with Gaia, right? Gaia holds all of it and is also that from which it all grows. It is that oneness that we're coming into contact with. Not the here's the feminine over here and here's the masculine over here, but here is all of it. Right? Welcome to the new age. I said that this was a grand fire trine that Mercury, Inanna, and Shiva are in, and it is because Ceres, aka Demeter, at 14 degrees of Aries, is creating all of those connections, right? So Ceres is the goddess of the harvest. It is the ceremonial dance of growth. But Ceres is also that understanding that you plant the seeds, you let them grow, you harvest them, and then you let the season of quiet come in. And now this is where the Capricorn full moon comes in a bit for us. We are in this massive, massive torrent of light. One of the ways that I've been explaining it when I've been talking to people, I'm at a party that I come to pretty much every 4th of July weekend here in the US in Yosemite that some friends of mine throw. And we've been talking about what this energy, what do I mean? This is an avalanche of light. This is a massive surging. Well, what we are experiencing, what we are being gifted is so much light that there's nowhere to hide. The way I've been explaining it or sharing it, the analogy that I've been using is Groundhog and Groundhog's Day. So the movie Groundhog's Day, if you haven't seen it, it's a Bill Murray movie. It's excellent. If you're into movies, I highly recommend it. Is about basically a narcissist who, through a series of repeating days, becomes self-aware. Do you see what I'm laying down here? Are you picking it up? The Groundhog's Day, in the tradition here in the US, and I think a couple of other places, Bavaria, maybe where it actually started, is a holiday that's celebrated in February, where the groundhog pokes its head up from its hidey hole where it's been hiding for the winter and crawls outside. And if it sees its shadow and scurries back in, we have 6 more weeks of winter. And if it doesn't, we don't. The way that this particular 2-week period feels for me is that we are in this moment where lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of groundhogs who've never come out of their hidey hole before or who've never stayed out of their hidey hole before come out, walk out a little bit, they see their shadow, they turn around to go back in because they're like, oh, I am not ready for that. I do not want to do my shadow work. I do not want to look at myself in the mirror. I do not want to do that. That looks scary. And they turn around to jump back in their hidey hole, but Neptune and Uranus and Saturn, or you have to look. You have to look. Now, some of us who are shadow work connoisseurs, we'll use that word, some of us who are shadow work connoisseurs will be emerging from a new hidey hole, because there's always a new hole to jump out of. And we get to see and help and hold all of these people who are coming out of that initial hole, or their second or third, right? Depending on of interconnected holes we're all at. Let's feel for a minute. I want to see what's to talk. So we have a lot of goddess energy, by which I mean asteroids who are named after aspects of the divine feminine. In Gemini, we have a stellium of this energy. So there is not just Venus magnetizing Uranus into this realm, but rather there is also and Hygeia. Now, Hygeia at 13 Gemini during the full moon is for one, but is actually in some ways a feminine expression of Uranian energy. So it happens instantaneously, right? It's you're awake. Done. It's new technology, new ways of experiencing and expressing ourselves. Uranus rules Aquarius, the sign of individuality, right? Unique expression. So when we have Hygeia, goddess number, the 13 at 13, with Venus, Isis, and the Hathors right there, they're like, come in, 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 come in. And this is in some way me that sort of gentle, like we have the rage-filled or the demon slayer aspects of Kali and Sekhmet, but they also are possessed of that nurturing mother energy. And it's this energy, I know you just got a sharp shock. Let's hold you. It's Gemini. Let's speak to you in gentle tones. Let's help you see where you're going. But it's also Gemini, which means trickster. If you try and dig into that hidey hole, trying to find it again, chances are you're going to get a slap on the wrist of some sort, But let's feel what Capricorn full moons are. They're foundational, they're structural, they're the bones of our body. It's ruled by Saturn. So as the sun and the moon sit across the aisle, across the wheel from one another in Cancer and Capricorn, they are working on that integrative moment where we remember that karma and dharma are the same thing, and we do not have to let karma be a curse, but rather to be a blessing. The blessing. And of course, they are slightly loosely, but within 4 degrees square to Ceres, who's part of that fire grand trine. So we're really getting to play with those energies of how am I founding myself? What seeds am I planting? What am I seeking to grow? What am I seeking to experience? Where am I harvesting my sense of belonging? Is it through accolades or outside of myself sources, or is it from within my own heart? And from that space, rising up and saying, I belong here, so do you, and so do you. And all together we play in this dance of belonging, right? Which reminds me, through this cycle, I have a special rainbow body light activation that's available here on the YouTube. I will end cap this video and there will be a link in the description below. This is a really powerful activation for the now that we are in now. Really to help bring these energies in to your body even more. That rainbow body is like the rainbow flag of pride. It is that energy which helps us to remember that all aspects of our nature belong. And part of the journey of what we call shadow work is reconciling those places where we have told parts of ourselves that they don't belong here and they need to get the fuck out. And instead say, I see you. Now, those parts of us may be old patterns, ways of protecting ourselves that do not currently serve where we are going. And so therefore, through our integration of them, we can let go of the more problematic sort of ways that we protect ourselves, which is through exerting power and influence over others, through shame and negative self-talk, through drugs and alcohol, if that's what we do to shame ourselves. Now, not everyone who does drugs and alcohol is doing that because they're ashamed of themselves, but some people are. We all have our different tools, right? We have different ways in which we try and quiet all of those voices. And this cycle is asking us to stop quieting them, to allow those parts of us to be seen, to build the new on a solid foundation, where we're not building upon our trauma, but through it. Can you feel that? Building up through it, letting it dissipate, letting it dissipate. This is spiritual alchemy. We allow everything to come to a boil. Allow everything to come to a boil. The steam evaporates anything that is not ours anymore back up into the sky, which becomes the clouds that now, through the process, can rain back down a purer essence. This is what I mean by not building upon our trauma, but up through it. Okay? We are in the Sirius-Sol portal right now. Here in Yosemite, I already have some crystals laid out. I set them out last night next to a tree, and I'm going to be creating an herbal smoke to connect into these energies, which is going to be available at some point in the members portal and on my website. Stay tuned for that. But what I really what I really felt called to to allow us some time, and I'm very specifically sitting with the sun behind me. Allow us some time to just connect. I'm going to be silent, and we're going to breathe. And I'm going to invite you to tune in not to me, but to what's surrounding me. All of these trees and hearing the birds and any of the other animals that you might hear. To feel the light in the sky behind me. Allow the sun to move through all of these trees, through my being, as Sirius connects with the center of our soul star. And allow yourself to open to receive the message that is yours to receive. Breathe with your eyes open. This is an open eye meditation. Allow anything that rises up to rise up. Mm. Thank you. Thank you for allowing us to do that together. What a gift. I will be in Ojai, California for our Capricorn Full Moon Violet Blue Flame remote healing. If that's something that calls to you to experience, you can come over to the members portal over on Circle. I'll be facilitating that remotely for our entire inner sanctum. There's more details in the portal over on Circle as well. I brought together a special oracle card reading as well for this cycle, which is available in the outer chamber. So that's the full community. There's no fee to add. It's simply sign up and come on in and join us. And it would be an honor to welcome you any way that you're called to journey. Let me feel if there's any extra. I have a little bee floating around my ears and eyes right now. Oh. One of the really powerful ways that I have been working with this energy, helpful because I'm at this party with my friends, is through dance and being on the land. I invite you to feel the ways in which you can really get your bones moving. Really get your bones moving so that they can let out what needs to be let out and find their new rhythm, their new structure, the new way that they are called to be the foundation of your body. Feel the relationship that you have with your body. Because as we are moving into this next phase of the journey, the relationship as the liminal, as the curtain between the physical material plane and the extra dimensions within which it is encapsulated, as those membranes thin more and more and more, part of our mission is to stay embodied in it, not to float up and away. And here is where we can start to feel like that goddess energy, that really strong embodied energy is part of that feminine quality, right? We can feel all of our physicality. It's not, I'm going to meditate up and out, and I'm just going to hang out up over here. It's about bringing the Christos in more and more, calling more and more and more of that stellar light, our divine light, into interaction with our molecules, into interaction with this physicality, and through that, creating anew. Amazing. All right, I think that's where we're going to end today. Thank you so much for journeying with me for this time, and I hope you have a blessed Sirius-Sol portal and full moon in Capricorn, however you are called to dance that in, however you are called to shake your bones. And if you're called to the portal, amazing. It would be wonderful to welcome you, to say hello to you there. And if you're called to the Rainbow Body Light Activation, it was facilitated on location at Diamond Crater National Park in Arkansas during the 2024 Aries solar eclipse. It is amazing. It is, yeah. I highly recommend. I highly recommend that. It is a powerful light body activation. So drink lots of water and shake those bones once again. Really allow yourself some grounding. You might need a shower afterwards to like allow the electromagnetic energies to move through you even more. All right. And with that, my friends, as always, in the always, so much and many loves to you from the dimensions of the all and beyond, beyond.